So you're in the IT world, and you keep hearing about this one certification, the Microsoft MD-102. It's supposed to be the key for anyone who wants to become an endpoint administrator. But here's the thing. As a whole lot of people have found out the hard way, actually passing this exam is full of, well, a lot of surprises.
Yeah, let's just kick things off with this bombshell from a test taker over on Reddit. I mean, can you imagine? You spend months, maybe even a year, hitting the books, following the official study guide, only to sit down for the exam and realize that 80% of it feels completely new? This is the exact frustration we're going to unpack today.
So that really gets to the heart of it, right? What is this certification actually supposed to be? And more importantly, why is there this huge, massive gap between what people study and what Microsoft actually tests them on? Well, that's what we're here for. We've dug through all the official docs and, crucially, the community forums to get you the real story.
All right, so to really get what's going on, we've got to start with the official story. Let's take a look at what Microsoft says the MD-102 is all about.
So the full fancy title is Microsoft 365 Certified Endpoint Administrator Associate, and it's all about managing an organization's endpoints. Now, that's just a techie way of saying all the devices that connect to the network. We're talking laptops, phones, virtual machines, you name it. And the key is managing all of it through the cloud.
And hey, here's a quick little pro tip for you. When you're Googling this stuff, be careful not to mix it up with MD-10201. That's actually a management directive from the Department of Homeland Security. Totally different thing, so, watch out for that.
So why does this cert matter so much right now? Well, it's pretty simple. It's all about how work has completely changed. We've gone from managing computers that are physically inside an office building to managing a whole fleet of devices that could be anywhere in the world. This certification proves you can handle all the security, compliance, and just making sure things work for users in this new hybrid world. And that's exactly why these skills are so in demand.
Okay, so what's on the official study guide? What does Microsoft tell you that you need to know in order to pass? Let's break it down. Well, on paper, it looks pretty straightforward. You've got all the big-ticket items of modern IT. Using Autopilot to deploy Windows, handling identity with Azure AD, locking things down with conditional access, and of course, the big one, managing everything with Microsoft Intune. It all seems like a clear roadmap. But, and this is a big but, what's on paper isn't the full story. Not even close.
Because this is where the official path just collides with reality. For so many test takers, the exam feels less like a test and more like a surprise gauntlet that's designed to catch even seasoned pros off guard.
And this comment from a Redditor just hits the nail on the head. Most study courses, even the popular ones, they just scrape the surface. The exam doesn't just ask you a simple question. No, it'll hit you with these nightmare scenarios like, okay, this phone has 3 different conflicting compliance policies hitting it at once. Which one wins and why? That's the level of detail we're talking about.
And look, this isn't just one person's bad day. The forums are filled with these stories. People who knew the study guides backwards and forwards, who are acing the practice tests, and then they walked into the real exam and felt completely lost. The big takeaway here? The old way of studying just isn't going to cut it. You need a different game plan.
But here's the awesome part. Where the official guides fail, the community has totally stepped up. People who've been through the trenches, they've come together and built a playbook from the ground up for what it really takes to pass. So let's get into their strategy.
Okay, listen up, because this is probably the most important tip you will hear about this exam. You can use the official Microsoft Learn documentation during the test. You heard me. It's an open book test, but the book is Microsoft's entire documentation library. This changes everything. The skill isn't memorization anymore. It's being a search ninja under pressure.
All right, so with that in mind, the community has basically put together this 3-part attack plan. It's all about zeroing in on 4 core topics that show up again and again, going incredibly deep on compliance policies, and, well, this might surprise you, completely rethinking how you use practice labs.
Okay, first up, the core 4. These are the areas where the exam gets super granular. You've got restrictions, you got to know exactly what you can lock down on an iPhone versus an Android, then app deployment, understanding the picky little rules for different app types, then application management, which means mastering protection and configuration policies, and finally, roles, knowing the precise permissions for every single admin level.
Now, out of all those topics, there's one that people scream from the rooftops about, and you just heard it from Redditor R4X1556. No compliance policies like the back of your hand. Seriously, this is the make-or-break topic. The exam is going to throw crazy, multi-layered compliance scenarios at you, and this is where people either sink or swim.
And now for the advice that's going to sound, well, just plain wrong at first. A lot of us think the answer is always do more labs. But for this specific exam, some people who passed say it's a waste of time. It's not about whether you can click the right buttons in the right order. It's about knowing the why. The tiny rules, the weird exceptions, the little gotchas that you only find by reading the fine print in the documentation.
Okay, so after all that, the tricky questions, the weird study strategy, you might be thinking, why on earth would I do this to myself? Well, the answer is pretty simple. It's a massive career move.
And I think this comment from a Redditor just says it all. See, this is so much bigger than just a certificate. For a lot of people, this is a life-changing move. It's a ticket out of a job you hate and a step into a real career in tech. It's a powerful reminder of what's really on the line here.
And if you're trying to break in or move up, this cert is often a much smarter play than some of the others. Take the SC300 Security Cert. It's great, but it aims for these higher-level jobs that are really tough to get without experience. But the MD-102, that's the bread and butter of the help desk and support roles that are the real gateway into a solid IT career.
You pass this thing, and suddenly doors open up to jobs like Modern Workplace Specialist, Intune Administrator, or Enterprise Mobility Consultant. These aren't just job titles. These are specialized, high-demand career paths that put you right at the heart of how modern companies run.
So look, the MD-102 is a beast. The official books aren't enough, and it's going to challenge you. But it's not impossible. The community, they've laid out the real map. They've shown you the path through the gauntlet. So the question isn't, can it be done? It's, are you ready to make your move?